Ralph Lauren, the man behind Ralph Lauren Corporation. And for some strange reason, both as a person and as a business owner, this man is associated with a real-life American dream tale of the rags to riches trip. It seems that his business actually got its start by making ties out of rags for men who were dissatisfied with men's fashion. This young man decided to design clothes for himself in the 1960s, and that choice led to the creation of a multi-billion-dollar company. This man's journey from being a sales assistant to creating an $8 billion fashion business is the subject of this narrative. A vulnerable child of Ashkenazi Jews from the Soviet Union, Ralph made his first forays into the fashion and business worlds at DeWitt Clinton High School in 1939. Despite having to share a bedroom with his siblings and live in a very small house, they had immigrated to the United States from Europe. Ralph sees his upbringing as having been joyful. When he was younger, he was well known for having a unique sense of style. He was enamored with appearances that combined traditional elegance and traditional preppy flair. He took inspiration from the distinctive looks of legendary Hollywood actors like Cary Grant and Fred Astaire. Ralph needed a job to support his fashion addiction because of his tremendous passion for clothing. Ralph enrolled at Manhattan College for the business program after receiving his high school diploma, and part-time work to support his passion for fashion. He attended the institution for a total of 2 years before deciding he was not interested in the subject. And when Ralph entered the military in 1962, his entire adult life was turned upside down. He worked at Alexander's, a now-defunct chain of stores in New York City, during the day while serving in the military, upselling handcrafted ties to classmates with a $7 to $10 markup. Ralph Lauren's main motivation when he first started his career by accepting a sales position at Brooks Brothers in New York was making clothing he wished to wear. He formally turned his love of fashion into a career at the age of 24. Ralph Lauren founded the Ralph Lauren Corporation in 1967. He claimed that the popularity of the ties, which he released under his brand, was due to the fact that they were broad and unorthodox, as well as the fact that they stood out from other ties on the market. Ralph began considering the prospect of producing his neckwear at that time, drawing heavily on Brooks Brothers' Ivy League aesthetic for inspiration. The 1930s film actor Douglas Fairbanks Jr.'s double-breasted suit and spread-color shirt, which were in sharp contrast to the uniform attire of Manhattan in the middle of the 1960s, inspired the designer to create the Ralph look. Ralph was forced to look for various other sources before he discovered Beau Brummel, an upscale neckwear company in New York, from their Empire State Building showroom, but the Brooks Brothers wouldn't give him the time he needed to develop his ideas. He created and sold these items. Along with selling them from a drawer in the Empire State Building's lobby, Ralph went from store to store, selling his ties to customers. Ralph made the decision to launch a clothing business as his profession flourished in order to further explore his passion for fashion. In order to promote a specific way of living in addition to the clothing he designed for the line, he established the Polo brand. Because of his unique vision of a preppy, ambitious American, the New England look has become a key pillar of American fashion. The 1970s were a prosperous decade for the Ralph Lauren brand. At this time, Ralph Lauren released both the women's collection and the company's renowned cotton polo shirt. The Ralph Lauren Corporation, which began with the Polo line, has developed into a genuine lifestyle brand that sells products under the Ralph Lauren name in 4 main categories, including clothes, accessories, home goods, and perfumes. Ralph has also frequently designed the uniforms for the American Olympic squad during the course of his career. In addition, he designed the costumes for a number of well-known films, including The Great Gatsby and Annie Hall in 1974. The man had never even set foot on a polo court, despite the fact that his name and clothing line were associated with the sport. Because he enjoyed athletics and polo has a sleekness to it, he once stated to Oprah in an interview that his logo was always a polo player. With Beau Brummel in his rearview mirror, he quickly began to develop and exhibit his designs in several department stores throughout Manhattan. Unfortunately, he initially declined Bloomingdale's proposals, since doing so would have required him to drop his characteristic wider European tie and adopt the moniker Sutton East. He later declined an offer from a Bloomingdale's staffer, choosing instead to shop at other stores. Just in case, Bloomingdale's ordered a full rack of his ties. In 1972, 2 years after launching his complete apparel line, Ralph launched the short-sleeved sport shirt by displaying his decorated polo pony on the breast. A year after his debut women's catalog, this item earned the nickname Polo shirt for short. Over the next 3 decades, the company expanded and diversified, launching colognes, denim collections, and luxury labels. 2 of the brand's most recognizable streetwear iconographic themes were introduced during the 1980s and 1990s, when hip-hop began to take off. In 1989, the first jumper with an American flag appeared. Around the same time, Ralph received a stiff teddy bear for his birthday that was clothed in a teddy bear-sized polo. After placing an order with SD and receiving the bear, Ralph started using the motif in all of his knitwear and jumper designs in 1991. One of the best-known fashion designers in the world today is Ralph Lauren. The reason for this is that throughout his entire life, Ralph worked tirelessly, remained faithful, and pursued his goals to ascend from his lowly origins as a little boy growing up in the Bronx to become a well-known cultural figure all over the world. As a humanitarian, Ralph Lauren has built a solid name for himself. Regrettably, Ralph received a brain tumor diagnosis in the 1980s. He was fortunate to have the tumor removed before it could cause any damage. And as a result of his own life experiences with a brain tumor that required surgery, he was able to make a full recovery. Ralph probably gives the most of his charitable contributions to groups that support cancer prevention and treatment. In 1989, Ralph helped establish the Nina Hyde Center for Breast Cancer Research at Georgetown University. Since then, he has collaborated with numerous groups that support cancer research, including the Pink Pony Initiative, and the Royal Marsden NHS Foundation Trust. In June 2016, there were indications that the Ralph Lauren Corporation was facing problems with lower-end products and price reductions. Analysts claim that this hurts the company's reputation. They also cited the company's inability to attract younger clients as a contributing factor. In response, the fashion designer introduced wearable technology in the form of a fitness software shirt and a smartphone application in 2017. This item of activewear, dubbed the Polo Tech Smart Shirt, is recognized as a pioneer in the industry of physical monitoring systems. It had sensors that monitored the user's heart rate, amount of tension during breathing, and calorie expenditure. Polo Sport was able to compete with other businesses, including titans like Nike and Adidas, as a result. In 388 sites across the globe, Ralph Lauren currently employs over 10,000 people, and the company still maintains its New York City headquarters. Its yearly sales are $2.2 billion. The 83-year-old designer is now enjoying the results of his labors. The man continues to insist that he has never pursued a career in fashion. The young person who once imagined making $1 million today owns homes worth $6.6 billion in Bedford, Long Island, Jamaica, and Manhattan. His automotive collection is indeed thought to be among the most valuable in the entire world. In fact, he thinks that one of the reasons for his general success is that he has style and avoids trends. Which of the following facts was your favorite in this video? Let us know in the comments. Also, don't forget to turn on the notification bell and subscribe for more.